Welcome to a very stormy and rainy day in Gamma. So, today we're going to be doing a repair video. Now, as many of you may have seen, I did a repair video that tried to cover everything and missed out plenty, I'm sure, a long time ago when I first started playing the game and first started doing guides, and I know loads of people have watched that and I'm glad it's been helpful. And I also know that it's not only a long video, there's bits and pieces missing, and I'm sure I'll still miss things because there's so much involved in repair, but it was also a bit haphazard in where bits were placed in it. So I was never 100% happy with the formatting. So it was always my intention at some point to go back and revisit it. So today we're going to do armor repair. The reason I've split armor and weapon repair up is because weapon repair is so much more involved and complex, I feel like it needs its own video really. So we're going to concentrate on armor today. Repairs of weapons will be done in a different video. Armor is thankfully a lot simpler than the weapons as well. So when you repair a weapon in Gamma, you have to repair the weapon itself and you have to repair each individual component of the weapon. But when you repair armor, they're linked. So repairing the main armor will also repair all of the parts, and replacing and repairing all of the parts will replace or repair the armor, I should say. So they're linked. Where guns, the weapons, they're not. All the weapon parts are individual, and then the weapon itself has its own health pool. But armor, they are interlinked, which makes it so much more simple. We're going to split this up into sections. So the first section is we're going to talk to the engineer or the technician, whatever you want to call him, in front of me. We're going to have a look at the items he has available, which are adjuncts to repair. I'm going to call them adjuncts to repair. But it's basically those other items that help you repair your armor, depending on the level of damage, obviously. They're not going to be super useful for the initial repair here, but I'm going to try and repair it in such a way that we can use some afterwards, if that makes sense. I will say you can ask for some repair and upgrade things from him. This will cost you money. I've never really played with it too much, but you can repair and upgrade things through him. I think it's much more efficient and cheaper to do it yourself personally, but if you're in dire straits, you can ask him to do it. So I want to buy some equipment. Now I've leveled this guy up. He has had all the way up to an expert tools. So he's supply level 4 for me. He's got loads of gear. He's got exosuit kits that works, you know. And he's got plenty of everything. When you need to buy something for repair, this is the place to come. They won't initially have all of the repair kits, but they'll have all of the adjuncts. I'm going to call them adjuncts, like glues and sewing kits in this case, that will help repair your items. They also have things like the sewing thread, which is again an adjunct. So if you use the glue or you use a sewing kit, one of these heavy sewing kits, whatever, you can add things into them. So you could use a heavy sewing kit and a basic sewing kit, or a heavy sewing kit and some glue, or a heavy sewing kit and a basic sewing thread, or indeed a cloth mask over here. You know, a lot of things in the game can add to repair, and we'll look at that shortly. But if we hover over the actual mercenary B5M armored suit, I've chosen this because it's a middle ground piece of armor. It's medium, so I've got my medium armor repair kit there, and you can see that it's also highlighted all of the repair things which are relevant to it. So in this case, I can use the medium armor repair kit. Obviously, that's the one for this. I can use all 3 types of glue and all 3 types of sewing kits, and also what I haven't bought is the tape over here. So this is emergency armor repair tape. So we can grab one of those as well. I'll just buy it. Now the other thing that will appear is if you hover over it, and we'll just right click to get rid of the details page. But can you now see over on the other side there are some items lit up. So the RK is lit up, the military fabric is lit up, and the PBI is lit up. Now if I right click and click details on that piece of armor and we scroll down, we can see its replacement parts. All armor, like weapons, have parts, but as I say, the parts in armor are linked to the overall condition of the armor. So as we repair or replace the parts, we are also repairing the armor. So if we replace one of these, the armor condition will go up. So that's nice and straightforward for armor. It's not as all over the place as it is with the weapons. Then you've got all your compatible repair kits listed, which is your medium armor, which does anything over 50%, your tape, which does anything over 85%, then your 3 glues, which start at 70% or above, and you've got your sewing kit, which starts at 65% or above. Now, there's the problem, isn't it? Our replacement parts are 15, 11, 12, and 10. And our actual condition is 28%. So none of these, sadly, can repair our armor. So we need another way to do it. What we have to do is replace these parts. Now to do that, you will need a compatible workshop kit, aka the medium armor repair kit, which we have here. And then you will also need, obviously, tools. I've just got my expert tools on me now. So tools now work on the basis of if you have the expert tools, you also have the tools below them. Now I've brought with me all the spare parts down here at the bottom because I have a huge stash with loads of parts in, and I've deliberately picked some that aren't fully repaired so we can have a look at the other repair adjuncts later. But you know, I've got all of these here now. You can also buy them, as we discussed. So as I say, if you hover over it, it highlights them. So we could buy the RK and it would cost us 8,562. So they're not cheap. So if you can find them, it's better. Now you can find them as 100% items, randomly placed on boxes and things all around the zone. So you can just find them randomly. You will find them on the bodies of enemies. So, you know, the enemy AI will drop them. Just sometimes they'll have bits on them. And the other thing they do is they will have the armor on them like this. And if you don't want the armor, you can right click and disassemble it. So if I exit out of there, because we don't need to be in with him anymore, and I go into my inventory and I right click this, then I can disassemble that. And then you would get all those parts, but obviously the parts are in very poor condition. But some armor you find will have better condition parts, and they're worth hanging on to for repairs. Poor condition parts are good for building, because when you build or craft something, it doesn't matter on the condition of the part. If I go to details, and again, we look at these, all of these parts are really poor quality, but if I was building something from scratch with them, say a backpack, it doesn't matter if they're all wrecked, it doesn't matter. All that matters is you have the part. It can be 0 or 1%, I suppose. Not sure you get a 0%, but you can have a 1% item, and you can still build something with it, because the game doesn't acknowledge that you need to have a certain quality to build items from scratch. But for repair, we need higher quality. The reality is, for repair in this sense, we need 50% or better, because that's all we can improve overall. Now, I wanted to quickly note that when it comes to armor parts, you can only repair ones that are 50% or above, and while they are outside armor. And I've added a chapter to the end of the video which covers this. But let's have a look now at repairing the armor. So, if you skip to this point, you've missed the bits about all of the repair adjuncts and stuff, but hopefully you understand all of that. The most important thing to say about any items in the game is read the description and the properties. The properties are the most important thing. Now, this repair method applies to both armor and helmets. They're the same, they work the same way. So, the first thing we're going to do is open our workbench. And by default it goes here, but we're going to click on the repair here. We're then going to click on our mercenary armor. So here it is. We can see all our parts in here. Currently it's at 28%. You can also see down at the bottom it has our required toolkit, and it correctly has our medium armor repair kit or toolkit there. It says it's got 4 uses. Using it on this screen does not reduce those 4 uses. Those 4 uses only relate to you actually using it to repair an item. So when we use it on this screen, you won't use it up. So we need to replace stuff. So first things first, let's replace the military stuff. So the military spec textiles, I'm going to replace it with the 100% piece I brought. So I'm just going to click it. And as soon as I've done that, you will notice that the repair goes to 34%. So you're already seeing an improvement of the overall armor. Now if I hit repair here, that part will be placed. And if we click on it again, you'll notice it's got 35% and we have that 100% piece in there. The others haven't changed though. So we need to replace something else. Let's go for this here. And I'll replace it with my 72% item. And you notice that's now gone to 50%, which is obviously a big improvement. That's what we need to start using perhaps the medium armor repair kit to repair this armor, if we wanted to do that. So let's hit repair. And there we go, we're now at 50%. Now, what I could do next is replace these with a 68% piece and a 61% piece, which is what I brought with me. But we don't necessarily need to do that. What we can do is exit out of there, and we can go back into our inventory. And we can now go, this is 50%. So technically, I can use this to repair it, yeah? So I right click and click use, and you now see we have access to the armored suit. So if I now click on it, you'll see that I will add 10% to that and bring it up to 60%. So this is one way to fix this armor now. I can now repair it using the medium armor repair kit and then any of the other repair items thereafter. Now the main issue right now is this will only get me to 60% and I need 65% to start using the additional repair kits. I can boost this up to 63 by using one of these, but I can't get it any higher than that. So I'll actually have to repair it twice. And I'm going to do that, and then I will reload, and we'll repair it the other way. So, repair, repair. I'm now at 71%. So I'm going to exit out of that, and I'm going to go back into my inventory. Now, you'll notice that if I hover over it, you notice at the bottom of the screen, it now says replacement parts. In fact, I'll go into detail so it's a little bit more obvious, and I can put it in the middle. Replacement parts. These two are now at 99%. Now, if you'll remember, one of them was 100, which was the military textiles. They tend to stop at 99. I think 100 doesn't show up on this screen, and they tend to stop at 99. The KCF, when we started, was 72%. The RK was, what, 10%? And the PBI was like 10%. And we've now got it to 44 and 38. So as we've repaired the armor, these have also been repaired. So this was to prove that point. Now, from there, this is now at 71%. So we can use either this glue. So if I right click and click use, I can now repair that armor another 5% to bring it to 76. Or I can select another adjunct to add even more to it. So I could select the mask. So the cloth masks are really good to pick up because they add a big bonus to repair of items. Now, this will vary depending on your level and your playthrough and whether you've got an achievement in the game. So an achievement in the game gives you additional bonuses to this. It will start out lower and then you will get more bonus from it as you go through the game and get these achievements. But it means I can add another 7% to that 5%, which will take me to 83. Or I can add a whole 10% by using the heavy sewing kit. So plenty of options. If I go back out into the inventory, I can use the heavy sewing kit in exactly the same way. Only this time, if I use the heavy sewing kit and I use a cloth mask with that, I get 10% with it. Now, heavy sewing kits are a lot more expensive. And it will only add 8% in this situation, but it allows the cloth mask to add 10%. So that takes me all the way to 89. So I can just hit repair. And now I'm at 89, I could exit out and use something else. I could use the other repair kit. So this is a basic sewing kit. And if I use that, it'll take me up to 97%. And right now, you can see that the parts have gone up again. So the RK is at 84 and the PBI is now at 70. So if I repair this again, surely that'll be it. So this time, that gets me to 97. I can use a patch. I've got loads of patches from the game that I've picked up. 158 of those. I think I've got... How many of those? I've got 465 of the monolith ones. So let's hit repair and that takes me to 100%. So now if I go into the inventory and have a look, that is now at 100%. All of my replacement parts are at 99% because that's as high as they go on this screen. So that armor is now repaired. And every time it takes damage, I can use all of these items to repair it. I never necessarily need to use the medium armor repair kit again. So say you wanted to repair a piece of armor and you didn't have all the parts like I didn't, I didn't use them all, but say you just didn't have them, then this is how you repair it. You get it to the lowest possible repair level, which in this case was 50% for the medium armor repair kit. And from there you can repair it. Now depending on your game settings, you might actually get armor that drops, which isn't in as bad a state as the armor I get. I think you can change all of that, to be fair. But let's reload the save and repair it just by putting the parts in, just to show you that way of doing it. So I've reloaded the save and our armor is back to its original position. So this time we're going to open our inventory, our workbench, and then we're going to go to our armor on repair again, and we're going to replace everything this time. So every single item that we had, we're just going to replace them all. And we're going to hit repair. And if we go back out into the inventory, this time, you can see we've gone straight to 76%, and everything is as it was when we put it in. So with 76%, we can use an advanced sewing kit. So an advanced sewing kit for this one, we right click, we click use. We select our armor. That'll bring us to 84. We can, again, use something else as an adjunct to that. So we could use a mask and hit repair, and that'll bring us to 93. And then we're all the way up at 94. That's pretty good. It's actually got us to 94. And then if we go back to our inventory, we can say use the tape. And we can repair that with the 6% the tape gives without anything else needed to get it to 100. Repair. And that's it. Armor is repaired. 100%. So if you want a quick way to do it, you need your medium armor repair kit, obviously. And you need your 4 reasonably high replacement parts. So, every replacement part really needs to be above 65% to start being able to use these heavy sewing kits and stuff. Obviously, if all else fails, you've still got the medium armor repair kit you can use. But, it's nice to have the option of the heavy sewing kits. Now, I've reloaded again because there's one last thing we haven't covered. And that is repair of the parts. So if I go into the inventory and we have a look at the actual parts themselves, do you notice that these are damaged? And when it comes to the weapon parts, you can repair them. And it's the same here. So if you right click and go to details, it will show you the compatible repair kit. So in this case, the field armor toolkit. And in this case, the field armor toolkit. I think it might be the same for everything. Yeah. So we can repair all these with a field armor toolkit. So let's go in here and buy one. So there we go. A field armor toolkit. It only gets 2 uses, so we'll buy a few of them, shall we? Buy 3 of them. They're not too expensive. So, now that we've bought them, let's have a look at it. Field armor repair toolkit, or field armor toolkit. It's pretty cheap. It's a technological item, it's a toolkit, it's high quality. It's usable for outfit part maintenance. The base condition gain is 25%. It is not usable below condition level 50%. Its repair bonus is +5. So if you use it with something else, it will be +5. But if you use it on its own to repair something, it will give 25% repair on top of whatever it is already. It can repair materials by using their counterparts, and it is also usable on a mechanics workshop for part replacement and upgrades. Don't worry about the last one too much. But point being, we can use this to repair those items. We can't use it, unfortunately, to repair any part of the suit. So if you right click and click use, you're only given the parts that are out of the suit. You cannot use it on the bits inside the armor. But I can repair these bits. So I can repair the Kevlar immediately plus 25%. It takes me to 87. And that will go from 72 to 97. There we go. So that's 97. 98% it's counted it as. We definitely don't need to repair that anymore. And I think it would be silly to repair that one. It's at 87%. I mean, we could repair it all the way to 100, but I don't think it's necessary. We could now go in, do the same again. So we go into our workbench, repair, select our armor, and we just replace all those parts again. And the difference is this time, when I hit repair, our armor is already repaired to 89%. And realistically, most of the parts in it are reasonably well repaired, and it costs a lot less to repair those parts while they're out of the armor than it does while they're in the armor. What I mean by that is, these field armor toolkits are pretty cheap to buy, and they add 25%. Whereas if I now want to repair it all with the other repair kits, like the sewing kits and things, then I'll be paying more overall. But it does mean that I, don't have to have those parts outside of the armor. And you can't take them out. Once they're in the armor, they're in the armor. And that's it. So we have a repaired piece of armor we can now wear. The challenge is getting the repair kits and the toolkits. So a medium armor repair kit is the challenge, along with the toolkits to get there. You can build these things, and that's what you might have to do. You'll notice in some of my playthroughs I've done that. So if you go to your workbench and stick with crafting and then click repair toolkits, everything's here. And it tells you what you need to craft a medium armor toolkit, which isn't a lot. It's a couple of grooming kits, some glue, the field armor toolkit, a basic sewing kit, and advanced tools. So it's not too far away getting a medium armor repair kit and getting some decent medium armor. But there you go, folks. Armor repairing in a nutshell. But I hope that was helpful. Please do like, share, subscribe. Stay tuned. I will be working on the weapon one as well. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all soon.